Though no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending. That's our code for today. You can start from anywhere at any time. Rebrand yourself.
And there's no better time than now.
Yeah, even if at 60 years, you can still rebrand yourself.
Yeah, you can still apply and go to school at 60. Well, so that's it for the quote of the day. On Fridays, we don't try to, advise you so much because on Fridays, we are all zooming into the weekend. So let's bring you the video of the day. Fridays, what are we doing? We're just having fun and getting to ease into the weekend as well. Well, let's bring you inside because there's so much to talk about from that press conference held by the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, yesterday. Right, so yesterday we heard from the Honorable Attorney General, who's also the Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayine, and he addressed the nation on the constitutional review issues. But before then, I mean, there was no way the Attorney General of the land would address the nation on a day that Sedina Ationu Tamaklo has been acquitted and discharged by a court and decided not to speak about it. It would have been so awkward for him not to. But then let's listen to what he said. When we come back, we'll have a conversation. We'll also share our thoughts on that matter.
Issued a decision unanimously acquitting and discharging Sedina Atienu Tamaklo, who was convicted of various offenses in absentia because, she was standing trial. And in the course of the trial, she sought permission to travel abroad for medical reasons and then remain in the United States for the rest of the trial. The trial court convicted her of the offenses charged, and then an appeal was filed by her lawyers in May 2024. I want this to be made abundantly clear that it was my predecessor who filed the appeal. However, coming into office, I reviewed what was filed, And I directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file opposing the appeal, because we believe that the High Court judgment had merit. Now, with this judgment, I've also directed the Director of Public Prosecutions to file a notice of appeal and apply for stay of execution, meaning that if the stay is granted, the status quo will prevail until such a time that the Supreme Court has had time to review the appeal and then made a determination.
Right, so that's Dr. Dominic Ayine yesterday shedding some light on government's position when it comes to the decision of the court to acquit and discharge Sedina Tamaklo. Now, I mean, how did we get here? She was involved, allegedly, in a scandal at Maslock, and so for causing financial loss and also some monies that were misappropriated, she was jailed for 10 years, right? Now, Sedina was in the States for health reasons, and so she was even jailed in absentia. The trial happened in absentia. She was there for years. Now, she comes back and appeals that sentencing, and then the decision of the court now is that, well, there's not been enough grounds in terms of evidence adduced for that conviction. So the court sets aside that conviction and says, you know what, you're free to go.
To go.
Quite interesting.
In essence, the court, my understanding of what the court meant was that the prosecution did a very bad job.
Yeah.
I mean, she had 78 counts. Does it mean that they couldn't prove at least 2 or 3 beyond reasonable doubt? So, I mean, it's shocking. I'm still in shock. But I'm also glad that the Attorney General reacted to that, and he assured that a notice of appeal towards the judgment and a stay of execution.
Yeah.
But there's also another question about the fact that there's also a legal vacation coming up. So I don't know how that will be. But now we know that Sedina is a free woman.
Well, quite interesting. It's quite interesting because when you listen to the Attorney General as well, he makes mention of the fact that, well, as it stands now, they, as the Office of the Attorney General, they believe there was merit and grounds for the sentencing. They looked at the judgment of the High Court and they believe that there was merit, and that's why they are currently appealing. And people are asking questions. Is that to say that the Attorney General was not aware that this was going to happen?
I'm also tempted to believe that he probably didn't really know that a judgment of that sort was going to come up a few minutes before his delivery. That's my understanding. But like I said, he was able to put that through and not make it too obvious. And his immediate reaction about the notice of appeal gives us some sort of reassurance that, oh, okay, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. But for those who say that, well, like you mentioned, legal vacation is, yeah.
We need to also consider that as well.
But it does not mean that the courts do not sit at all during legal vacation. Yes, in some instances, some panels are, you know, some courts still do sit during the legal vacation and attend to issues, because you cannot say that because the courts, the judiciary is on legal vacation, all cases, no justice within that period.
Oh, that's going to be chaotic. That's going to be so chaotic.
So we are not going to talk much about this. We are just going to allow the court of public opinion continue their dissection. And when my guests come, we'll also be having that conversation as well. Because yesterday we saw a release from the New Patriotic Party also indicating that if this has happened to Sedina, then the NDC administration and the current Attorney General and the current CJ should also discontinue all cases involving MPP people who are standing trial. Especially Chairman who is in prison now, Chairman Wuntumi. They say he should be released if this is the trajectory that the government wants to go by. And later on, I'll be bringing you excerpts of that particular press statement that was issued by the General Secretary of the party, Justin Frimpong Kodjo, on this particular development. They have listed 4 things that they won't be done. Key amongst them, release Chairman Wuntumi, 1. Also, discontinue all cases involving MPP people who are standing trial currently. And so we'll get into all of that. But then also with regards to the constitutional review, he also touched on some other things, talking about the Attorney General.
Exactly. He mentioned the presidential reign from 4 years to 5 years. Government is looking to accept that. And also the capping of Parliament, 300 from the usual initial number. But let's take a look at this at the presser.
The recommendation to extend the term of office of the president from 4 years to 5 years, with a term of parliament extended to correspond with this. Our thinking is practical. Under the current 4-year cycle, the early months of every administration are consumed by transition matters, and the final year is largely consumed by elections. A 5-year term provides a more realistic time frame for the formulation, implementation, and assessment of government policy. Government has accepted that the size of parliament be capped, and we propose a ceiling of 300 members. Now, the current membership of parliament is 276. So of these, the 276 will be elected directly in constituency elections like we already have. The remaining 24 will be elected or selected through proportional representation among women, persons with disabilities, and the youth. The government takes the position that all district chief executives should be elected. Creating a distinction between voting and non-voting districts carries significant political costs and, of course, social costs as well, and may be perceived as discriminatory against citizens of non-voting districts. Under the government proposal, the president will nominate 5 persons, 2 of whom shall be women. Out of the 5, 3 shall be shortlisted, 1 of whom shall be a woman, after vetting by a committee drawn from the Ministry of Local Government, the Public Services Commission, and the Local Government Service. Those 3 will then be candidates for election as district chief executive or municipal or metropolitan chief executive. The government has also accepted a recommendation on dual citizenship. A citizen of Ghana by birth who holds the citizenship of another country will no longer be barred from contesting for election to parliament only on account of his or her dual citizenship, and will not be required to renounce the other citizenship. The current disqualification sits uneasily with our engagement with the diaspora and with the realities of modern citizens.
So you heard the Attorney General giving out an outline and some of the reviews government is looking to accept.
Quite interesting.
Quite interesting. He spoke about the presidential reign limit from 4 to 5 years and the parliament membership cap from now to 300. He also spoke about the citizenship, which people have concerns about. I mean,
you can hold dual national and
hold certain officers in the country. Imagine, this morning when I was coming to work, I was having a conversation and a colleague was like, imagine a Togolese, a half Ghanaian being the president and you a full Ghanaian. It doesn't sing, but I didn't really understand what she meant by that. But I mean, that has been the concerns so far. But yesterday, the president outlined some package for the family of the 8 fallen heroes. I'm sure you remember the sad incident about the helicopter crash that took away 8 people, members of parliament, and ministers, and it was a sad thing. But let's take a look at what the president has for the family.
Stand with these families once again, not only to remember the sacrifices they made, but to demonstrate through concrete action that Ghana does not abandon those who sacrifice everything in her service. Immediately after this tragedy, government committed itself to ensuring that the affected families would receive both immediate relief and long-term support. That commitment was translated into action. Interim monthly payment allowances were provided to the widows. Statutory compensation processes were initiated in accordance with law. Comprehensive health insurance coverage was secured for spouses and children. Professional counseling services were made available to assist families through the emotional trauma of their loss. In addition, government supported families that organized private funeral arrangements alongside the national funeral. I'm pleased to announce today that these interventions have now been fully implemented for the families of our fallen civilian officials. Our responsibility extends beyond financial compensation. Every affected family has been enrolled onto the premier plan of nationwide medical insurance. The company's highest level of healthcare coverage has been awarded to these families. This package provides an annual healthcare value of 3 million cedis across all dependents and grants access to 942 accredited healthcare providers throughout Ghana. Each family will receive a unique identification card today, and it was in the boxes that we're giving to you, which will provide seamless access to this healthcare support whenever it's needed.
Right, so quite unfortunate incident that happened on the 6th of August last year, and the president announcing those measures there. But more to that is that Thursday, which was yesterday, the presentation was done. On Tuesday, 4th of August, there will be the Dr. Edward Omane-Boama Memorial Lecture as well. Then on the 6th of August, there will be a National Interfaith Memorial Service in honor of these eight, right? Mm-hmm. The 8 people who lost their lives. And then there will also be the unveiling of the cenotaph, also on the 6th of August. And then on Saturday, on the 7th of August, rather, Friday, service to the Seoul nationwide blood donation exercise. That would also take place. So that's how we are also remembering the fallen 8 that lost their lives in the helicopter crash on the 6th of August last year. Well, on that note, we end Inside Out. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Paper for this morning, Daily Post. Parliament passes Ghana Cocoa Board bill to guarantee farmers 70% of FOB. GHOne Group sponsored scholarship return from Russia to boost food security, waste management, and sustainable development. Court of Appeal acquits discharges ex-Maslock CEO Sedina Tamaklo Atienu, and that's what Daily Post has for us this morning.
So let's check out the Metro Lens newspaper this morning. Banner headline: 3 judges unanimously acquit Sedinam Tamaklo. 2025 scholarship raw. Canada-based miners, twins spark questions. There's also Parliament commends MPA's regulatory reforms. And Richard Ahiagba eyes NPP first vice chairmanship. And that's the Metro Lens for you this morning.
The News Center, government backs power grab constitutional reforms. Star Oil collects 1.81 billion Ghana cedis in 4 taxes in 6 months. That's really impressive. Government makes mockery of CRC report. Really? Rejects major reforms aimed at creating stronger safeguards against political interference. Said in as acquittal, a travesty of justice that's by the NPP. GBC paid £57,030 for undelivered African Games training. And that's what we have for the News Center newspaper.
Yeah, of its Darkon's News Center. Well, the Business and Financial Times this morning: economy insulated but exposed to gold price swings. Fitch sees inflation accelerating to 8.8% by year end. There's also 4.1 trillion CDs transactions fuel MTN Momo's digital push. Company Secretaries Summit establishes new platform for governance community. Trade surplus triples to 148 billion CDs on gold export boom. Total trade reached 654.7 billion Ghana cedis. There's also GHOne Group invests in the future. 118 AACRUDN scholars returned from Russia to boost food security management and sustainable development. And the choice for change is also on the front page of the Business and Financial Times. And Haftel leadership visits Amazon's global headquarters to deepen data and AI collaboration. So you can get details when you get a copy of the Business and Financial Times this morning.
Well, that's all we have for the papers this morning. We will be back after this break.
Thank you so much for staying on with us. This is the breakfast review of GA Today on GHOne television. And as always, on Fridays, we get to speak with some media practitioners, journalists as well, to get to appreciate their perspectives on the raging national issues. And it's been a very eventful week, so quite a number of things to touch on. But this morning, I've been joined in studio by, of course, Austin Wood. He was here last week, and today he's also here. He's a media practitioner, and he'll be sharing his thoughts and perspectives on some of the issues as well. Last week we heard from you, and people were very impressed with your appreciation of how you almost got heated in the studio. But good morning to you, Austin.
Thank you.
Hope you're doing well.
I'm Joshua.
I'm doing very well.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolute pleasure. And my head of current affairs here at the EIB
These
Network
two
is
cars,
producer
the
for
original.
show, lead producer for my show, SOA as well. Ibrahim Hassan is joining us. Last week he couldn't make it, but this week he's on the show. Ibrahim, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good to see you. It's been an eventful week. You can't miss it for all the rice in China.
Hey, well, you try catching your breath,
Yeah.
then another thing just hits us as well. Quite interesting. But then let's get into the conversation this week. And I would like to start with you, Brian, picking your perspectives on the decision of the Supreme Court that said, listen, whatever Professor Frimpong Boateng and his colleagues went to look for, the Supreme Court granted them.
Yes.
That it is unconstitutional the way we've run our delegate system, where a few get to choose, especially for parliamentary candidates and then the presidential candidates for the various political parties. Your take on that?
Well, so I get the reason behind this particular judgment. That whoever the parties put forward as parliamentary candidates will eventually get elected and then come to the chamber here in Accra to make laws. And those laws will impact on everybody in the country. So that process is national in character. So if it's national in character, then efforts must be made to ensure that there's inclusivity. So every registered party member in good standing, right, must be given the opportunity to decide as to who becomes the parliamentary candidate. If you shift the same argument to the presidential candidate, since 1992, we know that whoever MPP or NDC chooses as their flag bearer eventually becomes our president. So we should be interested in the process that will lead to that selection, because one of them automatically will become our president. And like I said, since 1992, that's how it's been. So the reason behind the judgment, in the wisdom of the justices of the Supreme Court, is that if whoever MPP selects, whoever NDC selects, eventually will be leading us as our president at the national level, then the court is interested in the process that gives birth to that choice. So there must be inclusivity. As a country we've been here before, the NDC tested this 2015 getting to 2016. Well, unfortunately, it could not play a good gatekeeping process. And so, per the Kwesi report, MPP people ended up infiltrating the ranks of the NDC, and they ended up selecting some of their parliamentary candidates for them. And we all know what happened in 2016. The party lost, and they lost miserably. Again, when the party had just one singular decision to make, as to say yes or no to President Mohammed's candidature, overwhelming number of them, in fact, a sizable number of them said no, even though John Mahama was contesting against himself, right? So they examined the process and realized that it was going to be counterproductive. Then they jettisoned the idea into the dustbin and went back to the delegate system. But since then, the party then argues that now that they've been able to develop a robust system that captures only their members. Now, what I don't see happening is the idea that this is to stamp out the involvement of money in our body politics. No.
You don't see that happening?
It won't happen.
Because the argument is that once it's open up, now it would be folly for any candidate to decide to bribe everybody, because now you're looking at tens of thousands of people that you must reach, if not millions, if you want the nod.
Well, Joshua, what we have done is to make things much more difficult for the politician, because the politician will always find a way. It's now more difficult. You have to now grease many more elbows and palms as well, right? But they will do it. Trust me, they will do it. Again, this judgment does not necessarily abolish the delegate system, because the judgment also says that you must be a registered party member in good standing. Who determines who is in a good standing? Right. The same party hierarchy, right? So what it means is that no matter what, people will have to be selected based on as to whether their registered party members are in good standing. So we'll still have a pool of people who will then have to vote to determine who a parliamentary candidate is and who a presidential candidate is. So we have not necessarily done away with the delegate system, properly so defined.
Right.
But just that you are saying that you are offering opportunity to every party member. But first of all, you must be registered and you must be in a good standing. That's where the challenge will come. The politicians will still find a way to say that you are not in a good standing. We will still have fight and squabbles over voter album. We will. That will not be solved with this judgment.
Right.
But this judgment is good. It's good to the extent that you can't camp everybody. So a constituency that has about 100,000 or let's just say even 10,000 registered party members, if you are going to engage them, it will be difficult for you to camp them in one particular hotel, right? And then induce them. But it makes elections now much more expensive. Let me tell you what the MPs do, or the parliamentary candidates. When they are coming to constituency to engage party people, they get you to meet at a vantage point. That involves commuting. And by convention, by an unwritten rule, the money you spend on transportation to the politician. It goes without saying. Now, what means that politicians have to find much more money by way of paying transportation, by way of feeding these people. Where will you find the money? And that's why I tell you that it's an attempt to stamp out influence of money in our body politics. It's an attempt. It's a good attempt, but it will not work. What will work is you and I, the electorate, the politicians, and all of us coming together and saying that we should not be making monetary demands of people who are seeking to serve us. And people who are also seeking to serve us should not be making monetary promises and commitments to us. If, as a country, it's difficult, it will be difficult, we come to that firm conclusion, we can be able to stamp out the influence of money in our body politics. This, of course, it's been made difficult.
Right.
Politicians will suffer to raise funds to satisfy everybody. But trust me, they will do the math. They will know how many of them their kitty can cater for, and they will cater for them. If it's party chairman who will wield influence on the others, they will sort out the party chairman. The party chairman in return will go out there and influence the base for them. For the attempt to influence electorate, it will not stop. Even at the national level, where we have universal adult suffrage, national level, where everybody registered is expected to vote. Don't you hear and see politicians influencing people? But it's been made difficult. And it's a welcoming development.
Right.
Any development that allows us to give a voice to many more people is a welcoming development.
Very well. Also, that's Ibrahim Al-Hassan. He is the head of current affairs here at the EIB Network. We'll take a breather. When we come back, more guests will be joining, and then we'll be picking your thoughts as well on these issues. Stay with us. Well, welcome back to the conversation. Now it's a full house, and so let me quickly introduce Audu Mahama and Elvis Dako. They are also joining us. Gentlemen, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, we have a full house. Last week, you guys were asking about Ibrahim. Today he's here. So before we went on that break, we picked the thoughts of Ibrahim Al-Hassan, particularly on the decision of the Supreme Court to scrap the delegate system. He says it's welcoming news. He says he does not see how this will deal with monetization of our politics, but then the inclusivity that it brings is something that he appreciates. Austin, I don't know what your thoughts are on this matter.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good morning once again. I believe that I would want to wait for the full reasoning of and the judgment from the Supreme Court to be able to apprise myself what necessitated that particular judgment.
Right.
Because I think it was 7-0 on that. But you see, I am looking at the practicality of it. Because it's the same Supreme Court that ruled on the Representation of the People Amendments Law.
I think it was 5-2.
5-2 was a 5-2 decision, not a unanimous.
Okay. What happened with that? It's been difficult for us to implement ROPEL because there are logistical challenges for the EC. Once again, you remember when somebody went to court to say that the Supreme Court should tell the Electoral Commission to do continuous registration because people are getting 18 every day. It's not been practical because what that happens is political parties need to station their agents at the EC district offices. And that is a burden on them. They will not be able to do that. So I'm looking at the practicality of everything. But like the ruling media is telling us, the 1 year period has been given to the Electoral Commission and the political party to fashion out ways to properly and fully implement the ruling of the Supreme Court. But talking about the monetization, you see, why I find a challenge with the postulation by IBS, it's like the Court of Competent Jurisdiction has given a ruling. And we are trying to tell politicians to find ways to be corrupt.
Are we the ones telling them about the
You see, we should not encourage...
Because we know how they operate. We've covered elections for years.
We should not encourage them to say they should find ways to do it because they do it. Okay. That is a crime. It's like saying there are thieves everywhere, so even if you don't lock your door, they would find ways. No.
Right.
We should be telling thieves that appropriating somebody's thing that does not belong to you is theft and a crime. Because those demanding money is a crime. Those paying is a crime. Why are we saying that they would find those ways? We should be reporting them to the authorities. We should be letting the politicians know that the things they do are criminal. Why are you going to find money to give people? If it is 3, if it is 25, if it is 3,000, why do you want to find money to give them? I don't think that politicians should be allowed to get away with certain things because we feel that is what happens. We have allowed it. Again, IB, you follow politics, right?
Yeah, I do.
Why should we leave member in good standing to people to judge when constitutions of parties tell what a member in good standing is?
So you mean it's not a discretionary matter?
No, it is in their constitution. The party, because if you don't have a party constitution, the Electoral Commission will not admit you as a political party. And when you check party constitutions, when they are talking about members in good standing, they have a definition for who members in good standing are. I agree with you on the point that people will try to maneuver, try to hoodwink others, strong arm others, but we should be fighting for the right things to be done.
Right.
And this is very key. With something like this, right? Anybody who is cheated, who is not proper procedure is not used to take them out, they can challenge it. Because previously, you don't challenge it, you let it go. But now, people can challenge it. Parties can also go to Congress or conference to say that if our definition of members in good standing is not tight. Now we are going to make it tight because there is a responsibility on the people who are going to vote. I think that parties should be able to do that. But lastly, the practical nature of it is where I have a problem with. And Joshua, this should lead us in discussing political party financing.
Yeah.
Now, Gary Nimarko of the NPP, who represented them in court, is saying that where do they expect us to get the money?
Yeah. Who bears the cost?
No, it is them. Because members also pay dues. Members pay dues. So they need to find a way to let members come and vote. But political party financing is key in these things because, you see, if there is no political party financing, which is by law, what they do is they would go and seek for funds from somewhere to come and abide by a Supreme Court ruling.
Yeah.
And we will not be able to track that financing that is coming into political parties. But I think that one other thing this Supreme Court ruling is going to give us is the parties are going to open their books. And the Electoral Commission, who is supposed to check that they have filed their annual tax and everything, how much financing they are getting, and they have not been doing, they have been laxed in that, now would have to do it. So I think this ruling, beyond we expanding it, beyond we giving voting rights to others, it is going to be bring up a cascading effect where political party financing will be discussed, if the state even would have to step in. And again, this attempt by people at the top to arm twist others to do albums differently, change it like IB was saying. Now, I think that those things would be thoroughly checked and might end.
Audu, let me come to you on this issue of the scrapping of delegate system when it comes to elections, mainly for parliamentary candidates and presidential candidates as well.
Good morning to Sheriff's viewers. Look, I think this country sometimes will make laws or take decisions that will haunt us, that we may not even be able to practicalize. You just mentioned, we mentioned people representations.
Yeah,
In that, we're supposed to register people abroad, Ghanaians abroad to vote. How many years now? We've not been able to do it. Now, the Supreme Court has decided that every member or each member of a political party should participate in the election of presidential candidates and parliamentary candidates.
Yeah.
I want to find out how many countries in this world practice this system. I want to find out how many political parties, I should say, in this world, in major democracies practice this system. Look, they choose their presidential and parliamentary by representation.
Yeah.
That's the reason why even our parliament, we elect people to represent all of us because we cannot all take decisions for this country. Now you are asking all members to take decisions for the party because it is democratic. I beg to differ. Look, we are simply making it very difficult for political parties. I mentioned what NDC tried doing in 2015 and how it affected them. Now, I know with that experience, political parties may adopt ways of capturing people who are genuine members of their genuine members. I see, it's a problem in this country. Now, if you say that all members, it is the same political parties who are going to determine who become members. It's the same political parties who set out guidelines because Constitution gives them the authority to set out guidelines, just like national elections. Our Electoral Commission sets out guidelines to govern who qualifies. The Constitution says that every member, every person who is 18 years of age, of sound mind, blah, 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 can vote. But there are guidelines. If you are 18, that's not automatically entitled you to vote. Guidelines will have to be provided. You have to be a registered voter. You have to be all that. So political parties will also go through all these processes. Now, if you say that every member can vote, it means that you are increasing the cost for political parties.
Ultimately.
It's going to be like 2 national elections. Because if you imagine that about 6 million people voted for NDC in the last election, over 6 million. even if 4 million were to register political party members, you are going to do election with 4 million people. And that's national. It's massive. There are countries that do elections who do not even have this thing up to 1 million. They don't even have population up to 2 million. They do national elections, presidential elections. This is a political party election that membership may be more than 4 million. And they are supposed to ensure that all of them vote.
Yeah.
Now, these are like, there will be logistical challenges. The party then decides that, okay, now we are setting the rules that if you want to be a member, because they want to get money to run. If you want to be a member, membership due should be a certain amount.
Yes.
Now, if they set up that amount and people are not able to pay the dues, it will again limit the numbers. And what you want to achieve may not be achieved. And if you want those members to be part of the voting process, it means presidential aspirants or parliamentary aspirants will have to pay membership dues for all these members to vote for them. You are increasing costs to the political parties, the candidates.
The candidates, okay.
And this thing about, it will reduce, I saw some headline, it will reduce the X sharing, TV sharing and all that. Must it won't reduce anything.
That's what Daily Guide captured yesterday.
Yes, my former paper, where I worked. Look, it won't reduce anything. It may rather increase cost for aspirants. Look, people say that it is bribe, it is bribe. You can christen it or you can give any nomenclature that you want. Those who pay that say they are giving TNT. Yeah. Imagine that a parliamentary candidate or presidential candidate goes to a constituency. The constituency is made up of 10,000 or 20,000 people. They don't all live in the capital of the constituency. They have to travel all the way from places. There are two ways of funding them to the center. Yeah. Either the political parties will pay their TNT to that area, that center, or the aspirants, when they come, say, take TNT and go back. And that's what currently happens. So if you say that the aspirants should not pay, then the party will have to be well-resourced to be able to pay the TNT. As for the TNT, it won't stop. You cannot bring people all the way from hinterland. Somebody has left his farm to come and vote for you.
Boston says when we do that, we are encouraging bribery.
It is not bribery, it is facilitation.
Hey, facilitation.
Do you know what happened in U.S. election when this man won, Trump won? The money invested put in on Dede. People were giving money to go to houses and bring out people. Do you say that is bribe?
Elon Musk.
To bring people to the centers. Do you say that is bribe? This is a democracy that we are looking at.
So this is not about encouraging wrongdoing?
It is not about encouraging wrongdoing. It is about practicality, how you are able to bring people to go and vote. Look, ask political parties. If the judges know how they mobilize people on even election day to come and vote in this country. This thing about, look, we do this, we actually do this in theory. Practicality, we don't look at it. Ask the political parties how they mobilize people, even on National Day, to come and vote. Ask them the money they spend. You want them to increase their cost by this ruling. Me, I'm not contesting any election. I may one day, but now I'm not. The other flip side, this is a negative part of what the ruling. I have a bit of positive side for this ruling.
Briefly.
Look, our political parties over the years have been very lazy in mobilizing resources. They look at financiers, big people, give millions of cedis to them to mobilize their campaign. Look, in other democracies, it is individuals who do little competition by way of dues and all that.
Yes.
So the positive side of this ruling is that the political parties will now sit up and organize themselves well and see how they are going to generate resources through even dues payment. I have mentioned that they may give dues that people will not be able to pay. But if they are wise, they will not do that. Because if, for instance, you have 2 million people, 2 million people as members, you say that each person every month should pay 10 cedis or 5 cedis. Multiply 10 cedis by 2 million. How much are you getting every 20 million every month? Or
Yeah.
is my maths right?
Yes.
If it is 5 cities, it's 10 million every month. It means that within a year, you are able to mobilize enough to be able to do it.
Right.
To get enough money to. So the flip side of it is positive.
Right.
For the parties to organize themselves well. But as I said, as for the cost, it will increase.
Okay.
It will also increase the TNT from aspirants and all that.
That's
whole
what
thing
Austin
about-
doesn't
look,
want to hear.
when it will increase, when MPP, I'll take when MPP, the first time they voted
Yes.
in 2007, not the first time. In fact, from 1992 up to the last time they voted and increased the electoral college was about 2000 in 2007, where you have the 17. Somebody christened them as 17.
Yeah.
That they were no more than 2,000 delegates. They spent money. They said because of the money, blah, 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 they were expanding. Now it's almost 300,000. You know what it did to the aspirants? Presidential and parliamentary. Look, we are in a country where, look, we have come to a realization that unless we legislate it, that, look, and how are you going to even prove it? That if you give TNT, cry, it's a crime. A gift is a crime. I give TNT, I say it's a gift. How are you going to say it?
No, the law explains what is vote buying.
Oh,
Voter inducement.
forget. They will tell you that law. They will evade that law. They will avoid it. Because if I give you money, you are a voter, and I give you money, you have traveled all the way from Yankpanduri to the constituency center, and I say, take this for TNT. Is that bribe?
But
Austin.
that bribe is different from voter inducement.
But do they say that they induce voters? Do they say
That's
they
what I'm
induce
saying.
voters?
The law takes care
I
of
know, but
Yeah, but they give it to them
they
afterwards.
give to them
afterwards.
Afterwards.
How are you going to prove them?
How are you going to
Because
prove
you've
it?
taken your
No,
decision
there-
before
you
I
see-
give you.
You see,
Yeah.
no, you see.
But there's the promise
Exactly.
of that
No, hold on,
inducement,
hold
right?
on. Let's look at this. You live in Bantama.
Yes.
Right? You travel 1 kilometer to the center is meeting you.
Yeah.
There is no public transport that charges 500 Ghana. You see,
You are
let's
not talking about Bantam.
No,
You
I
are
know,
talking
I
about where somebody will have to
I
take
understand
part.
you.
I'm also telling
Somebody
you,
will have to
I'm
take
telling
part
you,
too.
that one, right? They would have to check when it goes to court. Check where they came from to where.
Who even know how much is paid? Who will tell you how much is paid?
You also have to eat, right? So your sustenance
They
is
would
in
check
there.
all of that.
Who will even tell you how much is paid?
But see,
So
I'm a
is it the
realist. See,
amount
see,
paid
Austin,
or the gesture?
The gesture.
Just a brief one. I'm a realist.
Yes.
See, when we're speaking, I spoke to what pertains and what happens.
Yes.
Right? And never to encourage somebody to give back. In the end, what did I say? I said that as a people, we must know that we must not make any demand of any person seeking to serve us. And they must also not be making any financial commitment.
Yeah.
But the reality is that the decision emanating from the Supreme Court has just made it much more cumbersome for the politicians to do what they keep doing. The transportation will be paid. Before the NDC internal election, you know what the candidate John Mahama did? He announced a package publicly
40 cities.
that for each of the delegates, when you go and vote and you are going home, this is how much we're entitled to. And way ahead of time, should we say John Mahama should have been arrested and prosecuted? Because we've all accepted the fact that that transportation cost must be borne by somebody, either the candidate or the political party. The political party doesn't have the means, so the
candidates will have
aspirants
to
borne those costs.
But isn't it the responsibility of the voter to say that, well, because I want to participate in this process, then I would bear the cost of
That's the ideal
transportation.
situation.
No,
but
that's an
that's
idea.
not
You know
ideal.
what happens in national elections? You people, you have not gone through. I'm sure the judges have not vetted their mind to even national elections. What goes on? National elections. In this country, you say that people, Mensah, you say people are nationalistic,
Yes.
so come and vote.
Yes.
There are
Elvis,
some, even when you give them money, they say they won't vote.
Elvis, let me bring you to the conversation.
I am for this kind of ruling, okay?
Yeah.
Because I am against money in
Everybody's
in
against
politics, okay? Because it has serious ramifications for all of us, okay? But I say we should also be realistic when we come to some of these things. The one at the NDC said people infiltrated their ranks. I said it's because they did a poor job, okay? If you have a register of all your members, and you have criteria for those who are members in good standing, and you do the right thing, maybe a month to the elections, publication of all members in good standing with their photo IDs attached to it is made. I don't see how you say somebody will come and infiltrate. Do you understand it? The Constitutional Review Commission actually proposed a body that will register voters that will know that this is an NPP voter or NDC voter. But the government has rejected it.
It was captured on your front page of your paper.
Yes. Every serious thing that will change this country has been rejected. The one that gives politicians more power is what they have accepted. You see? So it's just a waste of money we have done. Everything that takes power from the politician, they've rejected all. In terms of political party financing, this is what the government said. While the commission said that there should be a constitutional provision on that, as regards the regulation of campaign financing, the government does not accept that a constitutional amendment is necessary for this purpose. This is what the government has said. So you see, the truth of the matter is that there are things we can do to make sure that this thing we can nip it to a certain level, not all. The truth of the matter is that, as we all agree, if we do it well, and we have a register of all political parties, and this is public online, and I can check whether Elvis has registered for NDC and NPP at the same time, you can do, with NIA, you can do a verification and say, hey, you are registered for two parties, you are banned.
That's dangerous.
Do you understand it?
It's a whole enterprise.
Yes, no. So this is how you do it.
Practicality.
Now, we are built at NIA that has a database.
Yes. Okay.
So mandate both parties to publish everybody who are registered. I'm a political party, I'm NPP or NDC. If you are found to have registered for both parties, you are banned from voting in any of the two parties, their elections.
That's agreed.
Which is simple to do because of NIA database. Okay, so this idea of where somebody who is NPP will come and vote, it's not here nor there.
So there will be no infiltration.
There will be no infiltration because NDC's database is open, public, NPP is public. If NDC want to do elections, okay, you can, all the people are, let's check with NIA database and compare to the NPP database to see whether we have members here who are also present in NPP.
You want to disclose membership of each party to the
Of course.
The journalists cannot join political parties. The journalists cannot join political parties.
Right, even if you join, what's my business? But you just in public. You see, so people think that
it will help some of us.
The infiltration can easily be dealt with because we have a national database now. So once you do verification against both parties to NIA, you know all those who have do double registration to vote for both parties. You, by the law, all of them are banned from voting in any of the parties.
It will expose the journalists who are pretending.
Exactly. No, it doesn't expose me. I don't believe that journalists should be neutral. Yeah. I believe that journalists should have ideology. Because see, we've made politics in this country practically not ideology. But if politics is about ideology, and I'm a journalist and I believe in a certain ideology,
property owning democracy.
There's nothing wrong to say that Elvis' ideology belongs to NPP. There's nothing wrong with it because it's ideological. But yeah, we don't preach ideology. Yeah. We rather preach colors. So people think, why should it belong to this color? No, journalism is about...
You're either green or blue.
That's the point. So you see, the issue of infiltration, that's why the NDC did a poor job. But today that the NIA database is so advanced, it's easy. Just make the law that both NDC and NPP, your register must be public. Okay? Then you can verify with NIA database which members of your party have also registered with NDC.
Yes.
NDC can also verify. And anybody who is found to have done that, that's what the Electoral Commission law says.
Yeah,
if you do a double registration, you are banned. Same way in this, if you do double registration, both parties are banned from voting. And all those who are banned, the list is compiled and it's also online with your ID, your photo ID. It will cleanse the system of those, the so-called double registration. Yes. The cost, yes, those who aspire to become candidates will want to induce people, okay, by saying, oh, I'll pay your dues for you and all that they want to do it. Fine. But what if the party decide that every month you pay 10 cedis, okay? And if you pay that 10 cedis, on the day of election, your lunch and your transportation will come from that money. So no candidate will give lunch or transportation. Okay? Because that's how you rightly said. NDC had, let's say NDC gets 1 million people. NPP have 1 million people. And so they should pay 10 cedi every month. 10 cedi times 1 million.
That's 10 million.
10 million. So in a year, they make 120 million.
120 million.
All right?
Yes.
In 3 years before they go for their primaries, they have how much? Over
That's
300
360.
million. Okay? and they say we are voting maybe 50 million of that money to pay for everybody that is coming to vote with their lunch.
So the party should bear that responsibility.
Because you are now going to get there. If you want to vote, you must be a member of Good. Member of Good that you are paying your dues.
Yes.
And if you are paying your dues, part of the money will be used to pay for your transportation and food and drink on that day. This, you see, so then when the party now take that decision that this can be done, then if you want to go and induce people, it's your own business. But then the party now says you can't do that because, and if you are caught doing it, then the law deals with you because the party has made provision for that. So no more excuse that I'm giving for
Who will catch them doing
Evans
it?
is talking about election day. We are talking about candidates going to campaign.
Yes,
and
round.
then
It's
assembling
all
the
round. It's
people.
meeting the people.
And then the party should be footed if you decide to do 10 rounds.
No.
The party
I think from his argument,
what-
if you are going to campaign, that one you go with Insapine.
No.
And you campaign to
Is
them.
it what
But
the
on
party-
election day,
Is it what
The most important is the campaign period.
No. So now,
What time do they pay the money?
Now the party can be responsible for the campaign.
Yes, and says everybody can go
Today,
3
party
times.
should bear responsibility for the
Yes,
campaign too.
yes.
Because
Yes.
I had a conversation with Dr. China. He
Yes.
mentioned that, listen, party resources are very scarce
But
because
you
they
are
are
collecting
so
the money.
spent.
We are
They are collecting dues
Hello,
now,
you are
but they are
collecting the money
complaining
from
about
the people.
the
And you say all candidates, okay? All candidates. This is the day for Sabdine. Everybody who wants to campaign.
That's his
The party
consensus.
is mobilizing all the party people to
Come.
this venue. All candidates come and campaign.
Yes, you do 1 hour. Another
Do you
person does
understand
1
it?
hour.
Oh!
that is infringes on the right of the candidates.
What are you talking about?
Freedom to decide when they
Listen,
embark on their
listen,
campaign and
listen.
when
The
they
party
engage
cannot
the people.
decide for them.
No.
How?
The party has created the avenue. If after that you want to go and do your own private campaign,
decide your course.
it's your business. But if you are caught giving money there and the law deals with the party, is not the one who sent you. There are ways we can
Why
come
you
up
people
and we
bad?
can limit something of these things. We
If
can
they
limit
be
it
caught, who will
effectively.
catch them?
No,
If you are caught.
that's what I'm saying. Every law,
Who is reporting
every
it?
law is to say, don't do it.
People will try to
So
do
when
it.
you try to do it,
We
you
will
are
catch
caught. The law
you.
deals with
Yeah.
you, right? We say don't do armed robbery, don't steal.
Yeah, you
People
can
are
get
saying they are
away
not
for
they are
3
working
years.
free, right?
But one day you
But when we
be
see delegates on TV and say, he gave me 100 Ghana. If you go and say it yourself and the law catches up, I'm not the one who said the law should catch up.
But if I give you and say I gave you, I'll deny it.
And
I will deny
that
it.
is between you, the person who's said it's been given. The person has been given. So then you go to jail if you go and deny it, you can't prove it. Then it will make people conscious that I cannot just go out and say I'll be giving TV or if I'm giving. Do you understand it?
With this kind of ruling that is going on
But-
in the country
so
now,
there's
how
a
is
way
it to-
these things can be done. Because the argument we are making that we can't do it, what it means is that if it is increase the cost of the election and we don't take safeguards, we'll have criminals.
Exactly.
We'll now have criminals now govern our country. Because now that we have expanded the cost, if we don't put the safeguards in place as I'm talking about, and now it's individuals who will finance all the costs, and the costs have become so unbearable. Drug barons, terrorists, and all kinds of criminals who want to control this country will now say, oh, Elvis, if you want to contest me, I can finance you, it doesn't matter the cost. But when the person is getting his money, I may not even know. He may be a terrorist who wants me to go to parliament and use me to achieve his or her aim. He may be a cocaine dealer, some drug baron who wants me to go to parliament and then makes me get certain things done so that I can give him a source of protection for his or her business. And maybe not be financing me alone. He may infiltrate both parties or every candidate is standing. And by the time it's a majority of people in our...
Maybe a Galamsey Kimping.
The presidential candidate who is going to incur so much cost may have so much money from terrorists and drug barons. And when he wins, now the country becomes a free-for-all center for drugs.
Right.
So, you see, let's not say that it's not possible.
Right.
Let's come up with ideas and see how can we let the parties become more responsible, put in place certain structure that will limit the money argument. But if the argument is that it's impossible, they will incur more cost and this and that, and then we let the parties not to be responsible because argument is that, oh, this is too expensive and all that, and then we leave it. And then the individuals now take control. Then the party itself also has a problem.
Okay.
Because the party, even the leadership he wants to get, he may not get it because now it will be only the rich and powerful who will even become party executive from the electoral area to national. Because they are the ones who will have the money to be able to pay. And that is more dangerous for all of us. So for me, I will say that let's rather look at what can be done.
Right.
Like the Constitutional Review Commission has said, there should be a whole constitutional instrument that governs political party financing. We should have the parties,
That's been rejected.
the parties giving them specific responsibilities, register of members, make sure that every year you publish the list of members in good standing. The dues people are paying. Publish the accounts of the dues the people are paying. How you are spending the money that you are collecting from the people, you must publish it. See, we can have a law that will make the politicians more accountable.
There's already a law describing all these we are talking about.
100 million.
Publication of financial statements and all that.
You spend 200 million. Where is the rest 100 million coming from? Because per your due structure, then if people have made donations, that is why in a serious country like America, campaign donations are made public.
Okay.
So that everybody knows who is donating to your party and all that. So you see, please, my call, I know that it's a difficult journey, but if the infiltration, I've given you the solution. I've given you the solution.
Nobody is talking about me. I'm not talking about infiltration.
And in terms of financing, I'm saying that if the party is collecting dues, the party will be responsible for the lunch and the transport.
Simplicity.
The campaign, the party should have structures for campaign. If it's national campaign, is it not the party that says the candidate is going here today, they mobilize, the candidate is going to mobilize? Why can't they do the same and say that this is what the party is doing? Aside that, you can go and do your own private campaign, but if you are caught that as part of your own private campaign, you've done something wrong, the law will deal with you. The party is not interested in that because you are the one who decided to flout the law. You see, the people who are involved realize that the way the law has now been couched, okay, it is possible for them to go to jail for doing the same thing they used to do. And even if they have to do it, they have to do it in a more secret way.
Okay.
We can have a bit of a cleaner system. Okay. You see, the parties have been left to be sleeping. That is the problem we have in this country. Our political parties have been left to be sleeping.
Very.
They are not really up and doing what really party organizations should be. They just wait. When it's internal election, you see all the executive, everybody is running around. When it is national election, but when it is not election, the thing they should be doing that will put the party in the kind of situation that will. Which of the two political parties even have a 100-acre farm in Ghana that is giving them some money? So it will bring the parties that look. Okay. Now we have to go into things that will aside dues.
You're right.
We also have to see if we collect the dues and we can really invest it. At least government treasury bills is giving about 10%. If a party put 300-400 million a year into a government treasury bill, let's say you get 10% a year. How much would that be? Is it not an additional revenue?
Okay.
So
Joshua, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Let's see how it goes.
Innovative way.
Right. Yes. That's right.
It has its pros and cons.
Exactly. But then we'll look at how it also pans out in the coming days. But I want us to talk
I was in Parliament and both
well.
MPP and NEC. They are divided.
Oh, yeah.
There are those in MPP who are supporting it and those who are not. And the same like NEC.
But I think the bottom line is that we would all want to see political parties being very proactive
in mobilization.
Being very effective as well when it comes to dealing with
this will really help that.
Absolutely. But let's come to the issue of Sedina Ationu Tabaklo. I remember in some conversations, most of you were saying that, especially Awudu, you said you'd be surprised if she actually goes to jail and stays in jail, now that she has come.
Yes.
So I'm sure that really did not come as a surprise to you at all.
Not at all.
But the response from Attorney General come as a surprise to you?
Which one? Which response?
The Attorney General, he says they are appealing this because they basically find merit in what the original sentencing was. And so they are appealing this decision by the court to say, you know what, she's acquitted and discharged.
Empty ways from the Attorney General. They didn't take that decision at the appeal level. It's all, look, this whole judgment and the antics of the Attorney General leads to one thing. Nothing will happen at the Supreme Court. Mark it. Look, have you looked at the decision where the Attorney General department says that the appellant did not include certain material evidence in the appeals, and that those should have been added. The trial court used certain documents or based on certain facts to give the ruling, and those did not find way into the appellant's appeal. If you look at the Court of Appeal judges, what they said about what the Attorney General said, represented by a principal state attorney, that a case has been established beyond reasonable doubt, and that, but they also said that this, did not even come to their notice until they were called to. This how do you call it, this appeal was filed in May 2024.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, it did not come to their notice until they were asked to submit their written statements.
Yeah.
Now, how come that a case was filed, appeal, somebody who was absent? I'll come to that. She absconded. Now, her lawyers did not, at the end, when she absconded, then all of a sudden, just 2 weeks after the conviction, the lawyers then went and filed the appeal. She herself was not here she started and then absconded in a way. Then it says that the Attorney General, you look at the thing well, Attorney General was contesting that the material evidence in the trial judge case were not part of the appellant's case. What should you do as Attorney General? Won't you rectify the situation by providing the material evidence that you say are not? In this case, they do not. So the judge will have to depend on what the appellant presented. So if you are serious in actually presenting all the facts in the case during the trial, the main trial, why didn't the Attorney General present those facts that he said they were absent? He didn't do that. And based on the appellant's case, then the ruling was given. And today you tell me that they are going to appeal. Appeal at the Supreme Court with those facts that were supposed to be presented at the Court of Appeal. So I'm saying that it's much ado about nothing. It is all, look, let me tell you that now. I have looked at the whole ruling. Yeah. I have read the first one, the High Court ruling. I have read the Court of Appeals ruling. And I am saying that, look, in this, I'm not a lawyer. The far I have gone is to be a court correspondent for some time. I go to court. I also listen to good lawyers. Look, we all know, when a state takes you to court, the state will have to prove its case by calling witnesses, by you, the defense, cross-examining the witness. After the state has closed its case, you file for submission of no case. Once the state, you file for submission of no case and the trial judge says that you have a case to answer, it means that the burden will now come to you. I'm not a lawyer, to prove that you are innocent. Because there's a prima facie case against you.
No.
Eh?
The burden of proof is always on the state.
Don't worry.
It's always on the prosecution.
Don't worry, I'll come there.
Yeah.
I'll call it. It's always on the state.
Yeah.
But if you are it's always on the state. That's why I'm saying that in this ruling, when I'm I'm taken to court, because if it's on you, you have to be cross-examined. You have to be cross-examined by the state. Yeah. Is that not it?
Yes, that's true.
Now you have started the cross-examination. One way you ran away. And then the state then says that, the Court of Appeal then says that because you are not there to answer charges, the state will have to do everything to convict you. Yeah. And I'm saying that it is very simple. If I'm in court today, and I see that the case is not going for him, I'll find a way of absconding. So that the state would then have to find a way to make sure that I'm guilty beyond all reasonable doubt.
But is that not what it should be?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come there. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
No, that's what it has
okay,
been.
Yeah, that's how it has been. You have to. But I've just said that this is a simple way. Because if you are there, you answer some of the charges that the state is alleging against you.
You don't necessarily have.
You don't necessarily. But based on what would they... if you don't talk at all, based on what would the state will have to prove beyond reasonable doubt.
Exactly.
And if you read the trial court judges, you read it carefully and point by point what the trial judge has said. For instance, I'll look at 3 issues. The issue about the 500,000, where they gave a loan to Obatampa, savings and loans. And then they agreed that initially the loan, the rate was between 1.5 and 2% per month. Now you transfer the money, you send the money, 500,000 to this company. And the company then asks you, without agreement that this is how much they are going to pay, then the company then asks you, what is the interest rate? and you tell the company now 4% a month, and the company tells you that the 4% will be too much for me, so I'm returning your money. Then the company then writes a check. If you look at the court proceeding, writes a check, and the A1, which is the CEO of Maslow, Sedna Tamakulu, then says that she needed cash. And then they cash. The board chairman of the Obata Pa Savings and Loans Committee then cashed the money and then apparently brought it to Bachona fuel station, and he was sent. She sent her driver. She sent somebody to go and bring the money, and the money did not find its way into the books of Maslow. There is no record. Now, checks, records were produced in court by one of the MD, who was a witness, prosecution witness, that this is a receipt. Now, the receipt, there's a signature in the receipt. During her cross-examination, what did she say? She said that, look, it looked at her signature.
During
her cross-examination.
No, at Yoku.
At Yoku. She says that this one looks my signature, but I cannot vouch for it.
But I did not write that letter. That's what she said.
That's a word. Yeah. Yes, I did not write that letter. But it looks like my signature. Yeah. It looks my signature. Mm-hmm. Then this was produced in court. Now, if during cross-examinations were to be present, she would have been cross-examined on this. She elected not to be present, and the case. So how does the state prove that without her, that the signature is hers? By forensic.
Yeah, the Court of Appeal shows how you should prove. Yeah.
Yes.
When
you come there, it should show you how you should prove. Okay. Yeah.
And the state couldn't do that.
The state couldn't do that. Yeah. Then let's come to the over $2 million a Ghana citizen was taken. First of all, he said it was not given approval for sensitization of 85,000 beneficiaries of loans, how to sensitize them or how to manage the loans and all that. Then board approved some 1.7 million and 200 million, up to 200 million was taken. Now 2
million or 200?
2 million, sorry. 2 million was taken. Now, there was a forensic audit. And audit proved that, look, the money, only 1,300 out of the 2 million was spent in some region, Greater Accra, Volta, and one other region. 1.5 region. And 1,100 was spent. 1,003, on the project. It was captured in auditor's report. Mm-hmm. Now, the auditor's report, all these were brought before the court, the trial judge. Yeah. And these were evidence that were brought. And I am saying that if the lady were around, to be around, she would have been taken through cross-examination. Now, what is more important than providing evidence of some expenditure? Is it just by word of mouth or documentary evidence? If you are a lawyer, all lawyers should tell me, what does the court place value on? Is it documentary evidence or oral evidence? Which one is weightier? If the trial judge or the prosecution was able to prove through the audit report that this is it, what the argument is that, look, you should have called the people who the training. They should have called the people who she apparently trained, because she said she had trained the people. Call some of the beneficiaries to come and testify. The flip side, why is it that you say that you have expended this money, but there's no record to show that you have the beneficiaries, you have not captured them? I get my point. Right. Because if you say that you have expended the money, there should be proof of how you expended it. There should be names. There should be details of how you expended the beneficiaries.
She gave it to Yoko. Yoko said they did not have their numbers to call them.
She gave the list to Yoko?
Yes.
And Yoko said they don't have numbers of the people to call them.
Yes.
The numbers and the people who were given.
Over 30,000 people. No.
Over 30,000.
You check the.
Not a single person has a phone number.
No, that's not her.
They did not have the numbers.
It's Yoko who have to ask her. Give me the numbers.
But why do you submit until that people their numbers?
That is not.
That question should have come from Yoko.
You see,
Yoko should have asked her.
Exactly.
No, let's not think.
So no. You can't say Yoko should have asked her.
Oh,
You see, it's part of the trial.
Right.
I am saying that if the woman were to be in the dock,
So for you, the problem was that because she was not here.
she was not here because
also
he
took away
find
from
it
the
difficult
trial.
for even the thing to do. And I'm saying that, look, if I am in court, if I'm in court, and I see that things are not going away from me, because I will not answer. It is not for me to prove. I'm scorned. That's probably the reason why some people, this trial in absentia now, people have to think through it well. They try in absentia because with the ruling that you have given, the Court of Appeal has given, there's more burden. And how does this thing, if, you know, evidence is adduced through cross-examination, right? If you are accused, if the woman were to be in dock, it is not for Yoko. Yoko was not the one trying the case, but they investigated, right? But when you go to court, the trial judge or the prosecutors will quiz you. If you say that, if you case that 30,000 have been traded, you didn't give the numbers to Yoko. Yoko, then you in court, if you were cross-examined, you have to provide the numbers in court.
Sorry, the problem with what you're saying is you are assuming without admitting that she would choose to be a defense witness. She can choose not to even be a defense witness.
I know.
Because in electoral commission.
You see,
No, okay.
I agree. That's why I've always said.
So you don't even need to abscond.
You know
can
my
still be in
argument.
the
You
country.
see,
I say that
you
I
are
will be
confirming
there.
my argument by saying that this Oforiata, I have always said that Oforiata can be tried with that. Even if he were to come to this country and the police should take him there, he would elect not to answer any question that you pose. So it is for you to prove the bet.
Exactly.
And I'm saying that, look, it is fair. It is fair that, look, if I elect not to speak, now it is based on what the evidence that the prosecutor will have to prove.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm saying that this is a good case for even people who have mismanaged, who have stolen this money of the state and all that, to ensure that they don't speak at all, they don't defend themselves, they don't do anything, so that the state will provide all the ingredients. Look, now as we are speaking, where is the 500,000? The 500,000 Ghana cedis. As we are speaking, where is the 2 million Ghana cedis? As we are speaking, the infiltrated costs. You remember she brought some cars here, and the costs were inflated 3 times for GPI2. And GPI2 refused to take those buses. What happens to the money involved in these expenses?
Okay.
If you want to use these technicalities that the person, look, we are not looking at, you say law is also about technicalities. I agree, I'm not a lawyer. But you see, I have faulted AG for what has happened. Because probably if the evidence was provided, the evidence in the trial court, all of it was provided in attachment from the AG's department, this may not happen.
Okay,
What do about me? That's
we'll take a break here.
Make your case.
Audu Mahama is the managing editor of the Custodian newspaper. We'll take a breather. When we come back, we'll be hearing from Austin, Elvis, and also Ibrahim Al-Hassan on that. Stay with us. Well, sometimes it gets really heated when we're on break, and I wish you were in the studio to get to experience the fire as well. But before we went on the break, we heard from Awudu sharing his thoughts on the Sedina Tamaklo and the appeals court saying, listen, she's acquitted and discharged. Austin, let me come to you. Your thoughts on this matter?
Thank you, Joshua. It was a 3-0 ruling.
Yeah.
And the
Unanimous 3.
The one who wrote the judgment is His Lordship Emmanuel Ankama, the Sampahini. And the others agreed with it. I've read the judgment. I've read the appeal, said the next lawyers, Digby sent, the Attorney General or Principal State Attorney's response to all that. Now, it has been proven that the Attorney General responded to it because initially it was out there that they did not respond to the appeal. Now it's been proven that they responded to it. Now, on defective charge sheet, right, I would not go into that because His Lordship did it or discussed it in technical manners, and it has to take lawyers to be able. And he spent like 1/3 of his address or ruling or judgment on that. So you can find it and read. But I would want to pick some of the very salient things, like the 500,000.
That I would do
exactly
talked about.
That 500,000. We need to finish the story. The story in finishing at the trial, High Court, was when Sedina went to Iwoku and she was shown that thing. She said that signature looks like my signature. But the evidence on it, what has been written that I have received the 500,000 from Obatampa, I don't remember writing that. There, she has done what? She has challenged it. So it is on prosecution to prove. Because she said, that is not from me. How did the prosecution prove? They brought somebody from Maslow. When, under cross-examination, Joshua, you have read it. That is why I'm doing this with you. When the Maslow witness was asked, looking at this reference number, because what Obatampa has brought to Iwoku, which has been tendered in, is not the original. Looking at the reference number, when you check at Maslow, do you have anything like that? What did the prosecution witness say? He said, no, we don't have that. That is what the Maslow prosecution witness for the state said. He said, that number, we don't have it in our documents. And that a learned judge is saying that there is a way to prove that what Obatampa brought is the original. The state did not adduce any evidence. And this is what happened. People should listen. When Sedina allegedly took that money, the judge is saying that, why would she take money and then write back to Obatampa that bring the money again? Not just once, 5 times. And they produced 2 of those letters. Obatampa was asked, they said, did not write 5 times to you that you should bring the money? They said yes. Please, Obatampa is not Mantria, Budria, Makola. It's a savings and loans. They have a CEO. They have a finance and legal department. Then, under cross-examination, did you write back to her that, Madam, we don't appreciate these letters you have been sending to us. We have already given you the money. So why are you still sending us 5 letters? Did you write to her? Under cross-examination, what did Obatampa say? No. How then did you reach out to her that, please stop writing us letters because we have given you the money? Obatampa's board chairman, listen, who is not part of the day-to-day running of Obatampa, says, I sent a WhatsApp message to Sedina to inform her that you are sending us letters continuously. We have paid the money. WhatsApp message. Joshua, when he was asked to produce the WhatsApp message, was he able to produce it? No. So I agree with Awudu. Where is the money? Our Attorney General should be looking for that money. Because when Stephen Amuastika replaced Sedina, he still wrote to Obatampa that you should bring our money. Now, we should go and look for our 500,000.
The 500,000 Ghana
So
cedis.
Just the 5 day. Okay.
No, you can ask.
The 500,000.
Yeah.
I should let you finish.
No, you can say
the
it.
500,000.
Yeah.
You are saying that the letter that Obatampa wrote,
No.
the receipt that the
Said
Maslow
gave
to
yeah.
this thing was not brought in court.
It's the Obatampa one, and said is challenging it. So the law.
At which level?
Let me come.
At which level?
The
Did she challenge it?
cross-examination.
Because she was not there.
No, her lawyers were doing cross-examination.
Exactly.
No,
So-
hold on.
Okay, you
She
go on,
doesn't
you
need to
finish.
speak. Her lawyers speak
I know,
on her
I
behalf.
know, I know.
I am saying that
Uh-huh.
the law says that
Yes.
if we are going to admit something into evidence,
Yeah.
first of all, we admit the one which is from official sources. When Maslow came and we asked them, in your records, do we have this letterhead number in your records? They said, no, we don't have it. So then, Maslow is even proving what Sedina is saying, that she did not write that letter.
Okay.
Sedina is saying that that letter did not come from her. So it's the state that has to prove. And in proving, what did the state do? They did not adduce any evidence, according to the judge. Now, tantamount to fire.
According
Yeah.
to the Court of Appeal.
Yeah, because the Court of Appeal, 3 judges all agreed. Tantamount to fires.
Okay.
We were told that Sedina, after President Mahama said, give money to the women,
Yeah.
she did not give the money. That is what we have been told. Let us not change it to she gave some, she don't. Then the judge is saying that under cross-examination, and I'm reading from paragraph 94.
Okay.
This is His Lordship Emmanuel Ankama. Interestingly, upon a perusal of the record, I find that the prosecution led evidence to corroborate the appellant's assertion. So he's saying that even the state gave evidence to corroborate, say that what Sedina is saying she gave the money is true. Corroborates the appellant's assertion that she distributed the money to the victims. PW1 is Stephen Amwastika. He replaced Sedina as CEO of Maslow. Testified under cross-examination on 24th May 2021 as follows. This is the question Sedina's lawyers asked Stephen Amwa, who was prosecution witness under cross-examination.
Right.
You testified some days ago that the issues in respect of Jedifo Adamfo are no more relevant. Was that your testimony? This is Stephen Amwa. Yes, my lady. Question. And I also recall your testimony was not relevant because you got to know that it was used for the purpose for which it was withdrawn. He did not say part. The question did not say part. It says the money was used for the purpose which was withdrawn. That is Stephen Amwa, the question. This is Stephen Amwa's response. Yes, my lady. Question. How did you get to know that it was used for the purpose for which it was withdrawn? Stephen Amwa's response. It was through inquiry. Inquiry by who and to whom? Inquiry by Bafwewa and Associates. Those who did the forensic audit. That led us to that conclusion. When did you inquire from? Or whom did you inquire from? Stephen Amwa's response. We inquired from both within and without. Within means after speaking to some officials of Maslow and then some officials of Jedifo, but I cannot pinpoint which one of them. We came to the conclusion that the matter had been resolved. If it had not been resolved, we would have put forward additional documentation. Question. Is this testimony of yours captured in the report you tendered? Viewers should listen to this question. The lawyer is asking him, you are now saying that you have done your checks.
Yes.
The auditors have done their checks. The lady indeed gave those monies. Maslow people have verified. We have verified from Jedifo. She used the money. And he said, did you include this in your report, whole report? This is the response. No, it's not captured in the report. So the report that you did, a material thing like this, you did not bring it. Sedina was convicted on that. Something the whole state is saying that we are not following again. We believe she used it for it. The audit report says she used it. We have verified from Maslow. We have verified from Edwedifour. She was still convicted on this. Now, on sensitization, I've had
as you wrap it up.
That would I would do so.
Yes.
That part I think is 50-50. The judge is saying, when I use the judge, I mean the Court of Appeals judges are saying the evidence you are relying on is hearsay.
Which are you talking about?
The sensitization. He says the evidence of
for the sensitization.
the evidence of the auditor.
Yes.
And the
Audit report is today hearsay.
No. He explained why that is hearsay.
Explain, tell me what.
Oh, I cannot read the whole thing, but I can tell you.
Reading from it.
No, but I can tell you that
Today, audit report sended in court is hearsay.
No, that is why I have not said that. He's saying that the auditors said we spoke to Joshua, we spoke to this, we spoke to that.
Yes.
They are saying that it was not given to them. Sedina is saying that I gave it to all the 10 regional people, not just 3. So now the judge is saying she is challenging the audit report. So what the state has to do is to bring the 3 who were given or any of the 7 who are telling you that they were not given. So that they come and say what they are saying.
Man, you said now was not in court.
You don't need
the lawyers. The lawyers.
You don't need
When he says now, he means the lawyers.
I mean the lawyers.
Yes,
Okay.
the lawyers were saying these things.
So the audit report said this. Now we are saying that the state should have contacted all those people. The audit report said you contacted.
To make the point, to prove the point.
Because it has been challenged.
Yes. Now audit reports will be challenged.
Right.
You can challenge
Audit reports will be challenged. Now audit report may not be
Are you not making a point?
No, let me finish.
It might not be documented for prosecution.
Please.
On the
Audit report.
On the cast.
Good.
Sedina enters into a contract, right?
It's interesting.
And this is where the problem is. The Court of Appeal is saying how the charges were couched in the negative. That is what has created this problem. Because they were saying you don't have authorization. And he's saying that I have that authorization because under cross-examination, the Minister of Finance, when she went to PPA, the Minister of Finance gave her the authorization. So the judge is saying that in law, right, if they say authorization and you say somebody didn't have, you rather have to prove. She doesn't have to prove. And the judge is saying that where we want you, the person, to prove, we include it in the law. He gave an example that they can say that for possession of firearms, without you proving that you have authorization, you will be apprehended. We have added that in our law. For possession of narcotics, without you possession of it, proving that you have legal authority to possess it. She says the trial judge, Court of Appeal judges are saying on the authorization and PPA, if we wanted it to be the people giving that to have it, we would have included that you should look for the authorization from the minister. Now, the minister has said, I gave her the authorization. So when you say she did not have the authorization, and the judge ends by saying,
authorization from PPA or the...
Yes, but the PPA wrote to the minister, and the minister says, yes, I have given her the authorization. Now, lastly, the judge is saying that if she had no authorization, that would mean that the contract is null and void.
Yes.
If it was null and void, why the Sivinamua? This is what the judge saying, come to renegotiate a null and void thing and pay for it. That is what the judge is saying, because if you are saying she did not have authorization, you should be telling the people we have the contract where it's null and void. The person who committed the state did not have that. Yeah. And we have cases which speak to that. But you came and renegotiated it, and you rather paid for it.
They were bought. They were already bought.
No. It is Fourier Times
who
paid for it.
They were bought under a non-existing contract. So the argument is that give them back to the supplier.
Right. Okay, Ibrahim, let me bring you into this.
Okay, so I won't go into the nitty-gritties, but here's the thing. This is how the Court of Appeal judges conclude, and I read just the excerpt here. It said, I will go further to emphasize that the principle that unless a statute plainly places the burden of proving a particular element of an offense upon the accused, she is under no obligation whatsoever to lead evidence in aid of a prosecution case that has not yet reached the threshold the law demands of it. To require otherwise is to ask the accused to complete the prosecution's unfinished work and to convict her for declining the invitation as was done by the learned trial judge. And this is the appeals court, the Court of Appeal judges faulting the trial judge at the High Court. Now, it ends by saying that the prosecution's evidence on a fair and unaided reading fell short of proof beyond reasonable doubt. The shortfall was not made good by any burden properly resting on the appellant, and the trial judge's misdirection on this fundamental point goes to the very root of a fair trial. For these reasons, therefore, I am satisfied that the conviction and sentencing on all the charges, including those manifestly defective charges, cannot stand. Blah, 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 it concludes. Now, here's the thing. I would sought to fault the system as we have it.
Yeah.
And I'll be very brief on this. Yesterday, when I saw this judgment from the Court of Appeal, we were all taken aback. I was surprised. I was shocked. Justifiably so, many Ghanaians were livid. And per what I gather, even the president was surprised by this particular judgment that emanated from the Court of Appeal.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, let me land, my brother. See, the AG. You saw how the AG talked about this after the press release. He just mentioned it at the beginning, and that was the last thing he said about this. Now, what the AG said was very instructive, and that's how come I even don't want us to, at least for now, say that the trial judge at the High Court erred. Because the AG, in the submission yesterday, mentioned that he believed that there was merit in the case brought against Sedina at the High Court. That's very profound, because that is the conviction of the AG. No, I'm coming. No, yes. Oh no, I'm coming. Yes, yes. So yes, you are just adding to what I'm saying. Yes. So yes. So the AG actually believes that what happened at the High Court was legitimate. It was grounded in law, and that the conviction ought to have stood.
Yes.
That's the belief of the AG.
And that's why he's appealing.
Great. But you see, when I said, per what I know, the president himself was surprised. That's how it ought to be. Because the president ought not to know judgment before they are pronounced. That's not the norm. In fact, if that happens, then we are in a kangaroo republic. The president, we should have a president who is surprised by judgment from our court. That is the norm. Now, the AG then goes further. Audu is saying that what's happening is a charade.
President surprised.
Yes, what's happening is a charade. So, a judgment has emanated from the Court of Appeal. The government disagrees. The president's #1 legal advisor disagrees.
Yeah.
Audu, you disagree, obviously, with that judgment that emanated from the Court of Appeal.
Yes, I do.
Many Ghanaians disagree with.
Yes.
What is the process that we should pursue upon that disagreement? Is it not going further through the same system? That freedom.
Yes,
now the AG has done that. You sit here and say that it's a charade. I have a problem with that.
Charade means that it will not succeed.
No, I'm coming. See, the
succeed.
point I'm making is that we expected the AG to take action.
If our case is bad,
The AG has taken action.
So is it not a charade?
The AG has taken action.
Yes.
Now, aside the 3 justices who sat on this case, we'll have at least 5.
Yes, 2 more.
5 of them sitting on this same case at the apex court of the land. If their judgment is in line with that of Court of Appeal, I will not sit here and pontificate. I will then agree that the judgment from the High Court is bad. For now, I cannot disagree. I cannot agree that the judgment from the High Court is bad, because we all feel something must be done about it.
Yeah.
If the AG, in his opinion, believes that the judgment that will emanate from the apex court will have to go for review, the AG is allowed to do that. But aside these processes and these options, there's nothing whatsoever any Attorney General can do. Is that not the case? There's nothing even the president can do.
Yeah.
Unless if somebody is convicted, like who to me has been convicted, and the president believes that I can pardon the person. Right? So I want to sit here and say that, yes, I don't fault the MPP. And in fact, if I'm a politician and I belong to the MPP, I will milk this as much as I can. Because to me has just been jailed for 20 years. Less than 2 weeks ago, right? When Sedinam came, the argument is that it's a charade. He's coming. He will first of all appeal. He will apply for bail. He will be released on bail. And that will be the last time we hear of this case. Of course, those conversations were had. So if in no time, in fact, the charge has not even manifested. Because the charge is that she will be granted bail. Yes. But now it's total acquittal and discharge, right? And then a 10-year sentence, more or less like Yamutu. So I can understand.
Yamutu.
It's like it never happened.
Like it never happened. I get that. And like I said, I won't sit here and fault MPP, which is going to organize a press conference today to address this matter, to say that they should not take advantage of this. I'll be politically naive to say that. But I also understand the headache that the AG had to deal with, including the president. Yesterday, Phyllis had to just inform all of us on social media that President Mahama is going to Jamaica for a historic visit. Go and read the comments under. Go and read the comments under that information that Phyllis Patrofosu gave us. So I understand. And understand the difficulty government is dealing with. But there's only one way out of this, and that is to exhaust the illegal process. And that's what we are witnessing.
But I say to much ado about
no problem. You are allowed to predict.
But if somebody has not committed a crime, they should leave the person.
So why do you continue? Why don't you accept
because the AG believes that she committed it. And I'm saying that we should not say because people are angry, we should go and jail people.
And that's why it's not about public safety. It's about the rule of law and what the law says.
If the trial judge did not give, if it's a useless case, and
okay,
the state lawyer says it's a good case.
This
against what you have just said, it's a bad case. So I think it is no need.
In this country, when the system want to free you, they will free you. There's nothing anybody can do about it.
Okay.
Look, I'm going to talk about how public money is being dissipated, and we are using technicalities to justify public money being taken away by people. Look, the argument here by this ruling is that the burden of proof cannot be shifted to Sedinam, right?
Yes.
In the Republic versus Dan Abodakwi.
I was going to look at
In
it.
the Republic versus Dan Abodakwi.
Yes.
It said that when a fact is particularly within the knowledge of the accused and the burden of proof provided as a rest on that accused person. This is a court ruling.
But in this case, it's different.
No, it's not different.
Why?
The accused is challenging.
He didn't challenge. Please. At the court, she never challenged the admission of that money into the witness statement. He never challenged it by the court to admit it. His lawyer never challenged it. So you see, this ruling is just to cover up something. Because if it's not,
the admission of the
at the high court, I'm saying at the high court,
went in.
when the thing was being admitted, her lawyer never challenged the admission.
It was admitted.
And she admitted knowledge of it, right? So if in the Republic of Abodakwi, the Republic versus Abodakwi, the proof rests on Abodakwi, but in the Republic versus Sedinam, the proof does not rest on Sedinam from the same courts of Ghana. People think we don't have common sense. Huh?
Probably.
The state proved that the money was withdrawn. If she actually held programs for people, is she not the one to be providing pictures, videos, and evidence that the programs were held? Is that supposed to be the burden of the state, the prosecutor? But the court said the prosecutor must prove that the program was not held. The prosecutor said the program was not held. There's no evidence the program was held. If there was a program held, shouldn't the burden be on the woman to prove that these are pictures, these are videos, these are that the program was held? Did the woman provide any to the Court of Appeal? But then at the end of the day, without her providing any proof that these are the pictures for training, these are the pictures for, these are videos, these are the facilitators, and this venue or that, the court is telling us that the woman has no right to prove that, and the state should be the one go and find non-existent videos.
30,000 people.
Okay, 85,000 people. They said, is the court is telling us that it is the duty of the prosecutor to go and establish that they were supposed to hold program and there was no program. They have made their point, and the court is saying instead of telling the woman that if you claim that you did this training, bring videos, bring pictures, bring evidence to prove it. The court said the woman does not have the business to do that. And you are telling us that we don't have common sense, we can't think about it. What are you talking about? You Joshua said you are going to do a program. and I am saying you've not done the program. And the court is saying that you, the one who claim you've done the program, you don't have any business providing proof that you did the program. Me, the one working for the state saying that you didn't do the program, I should go and provide proof that you didn't do the program. How am I going to get the proof? Am I the one who organized the people there? And the state give this judgment and people say, hail it. Please, Ghanaians have common sense. So these legalities they are using today, does this make common sense to any listener? That the person who organized the program for the people is not the one that with the burden to provide evidence of the program being held. Attendees, facilitators, resource people, the people who attended the program. It's not the person who said he did it. The court said the person has business to provide that. And that the state prosecutor, who was not there when the thing was to be organized, should be the one to go and provide that to be able to prove that the woman didn't do that. And you are telling me that I should accept that.
But Elvis, if you're accusing me of wrongdoing and saying that I have not organized the program, you should tell me that.
There is
evidence that you have done it.
And I said I have done it. So then tell me that, on that day there was a program which was not my program.
Does this make sense?
I have proven that you took money. You took public money that we are going to organize program for people.
Yes.
But I am telling you that there's no evidence that you did the program. Okay?
I'll prove it.
There's no evidence that you do the program. Is it not your burden for you to prove that indeed? These are videos, these are pictures, these are the people who facilitated the program, who did the program. Is it not your business to do it?
Respectfully.
Why am I supposed to be the one to do that?
Can I ask you?
Did I organize the program?
No, let me ask you a question. You see, you are talking about what you are saying is true, but that is at a later stage of the trial. Why? Because you see, let me finish.
Why is it not part of the trial?
What is this latter stage? Mensah, go on. Go on. What is the latter stage of the trial?
So there's the court, the three judges and the court is saying that I am an auditor. I came to audit you and say you have withdrawn money.
Yes.
And the purpose of the money is to do a training. And I said with my investigation, there's no evidence that you have done any training, so bring the money. And the court says, Elvis, you have no right to say the person didn't do it. If I have no right to say, the only way the person can prove that the money was used is to bring pictures and videos. But the court is not asking the person that bring the pictures and videos, bring the resource persons, bring the data that this Elvis was a facilitator, Joshua was a facilitator. On this date, it was held here. These are pictures and videos. The court did not ask the woman for that. And the court said the prosecutor was not able to provide those things. So that's why the woman should walk free.
He says he was not able to prove that she did not do it.
How would I prove that he didn't do it? How?
Because you are saying it.
Because there's no evidence.
Money. What was the money used for? Provide evidence that you did.
You took money. First of all, you took money.
And then he said, me, Elvis, because you, Joshua, could not you didn't provide anything. You go and provide non-existent name. There's no phone numbers to call that Elvis come to court. Did the woman provide anybody in court to prove that he or she attended the program? If the court is saying that the three directors who are saying that the program was never held cannot be believed, did the woman provide people? The court is now saying that the prosecution should bring all the 10 regional people to rather come and testify. But did the woman provide any single person
who attended
the program to the court? And if people give this kind of judgment, you think we should just be hail you people? Any Ghanaian listening, just ask yourself, you are not a lawyer, use your common sense and judge this issue. Public money, we are told about 90 million Ghana cedis cannot be accounted for. The state lost some money. And we are here to use technicalities to let the money go free. What are we talking about? Look, the state called an investigator, an external auditor, who testified that master original did not take place. The Court of Appeal threw out this. Jesus. After throwing out, the Court of Appeal said, okay, that's what the Court of Appeal that the prosecution didn't bring the people, okay, to the court. How is it difficult for the court to say prosecution bring the people, and you, the woman who said it was also go and bring your people?
We don't do inquisitorial.
Why do you mean
directors?
No,
you are wrong.
Our laws are not inquisitorial. It's adversarial.
We know judges do not act those things.
Judges do not act those things. It's not a commission of inquiry. You are misinformed. It's not a commission of inquiry. Judges do not do inquisitorial. Judges do not do inquisitorial. What are you saying? What are you saying?
These are shenanigans.
We don't do inquisitorial at our course. We do adversarial. What are you saying? Is it a commission of inquiry?
You say this you are making, we don't know.
So why
are you asking the judge to do
But they
that?
provided people to testify. If directors will come and testify, we said that the directors cannot be
Elvis,
believed.
land for me.
Directors, because we
really
want
need to
directors.
go
If the
somewhere.
argument of the judges is that the prosecution didn't bring these 3 people, and then the remaining 7, did the woman bring anybody to court to come and say, I attended the program? There are common people who are listening.
why?
I'm not talking about the law. I'm talking about common sense.
That's why I say
Indeed,
this thing doesn't make
the
sense.
argument of the court is that you said that these 3 people told her that but you didn't bring them to court.
Yeah.
Did the woman bring anybody to court? To say
Prosecution got
that
3.
I attended the program. Did the woman also bring anybody to court? We are talking about, according to the court, the state, money is worth almost 90 million Ghana cedis. Of public money is what we are discussing here. Public money is what we are discussing here. And people are sitting using technicalities to throw away public money. And somebody think that it should be justified.
Right.
Please,
Joshua,
let's be careful in this
20
country.
seconds.
Okay? This attorney general has, he lost the fight from the beginning.
Oh, but he is challenging.
And then he lost the fight from the beginning.
He's appealing it.
And
He says he believes there is
Hey,
merit.
Attorney General
the
agrees
attorney
with you.
general that
Your
comes to
argument,
power,
he agrees
and the
with.
first
And you
thing
are
that
still-
is to go and find
it's a
only
facade.
What's the facade?
to discontinue major cases in court. It's agreement. We were told by audit, by the work that was done, that out of the 200 million, the total work that was done, there was about $70 million. It means that the state has 130 million multiplied by 12 in Ghana City. It's over 700 million Ghana Cedis in agreement issue. If the facts of the court. But you throw away that case. But somebody that is being charged for, somebody is saying stolen 5 million, 10 million, you say you are chasing. They are only chasing political opponents. They are not there to fight corruption.
Okay.
They are only fighting corruption that involves political opponents.
Right.
Because you can't throw away a case
30
that is over 700 million Ghana cedis for public
30
money.
30 seconds.
Please,
Joshua.
irrespective of whatever is happening, think about the Ghanaian taxpayer.
Right.
That in this Suriname case, we are talking about Ghanaian taxpayers' money. Of, according to the court records and what the state presented, we are talking about Ghanaian taxpayers' money of over 90 million. And the court, you are telling me that it's not interested that the state should recover its money. The court is only interested in technicalities to throw away a case that involves public money of 90 million.
Process.
Does that make any sense to the ordinary Ghanaian?
Right.
What are you talking about?
Elvis, we need to go.
Joshua.
Yes, Audu, we need to go. We
We
need to
have
go.
regional directors.
You need to go.
3 of them testified it never happened. Their testimony was not taken.
They said they were not going to court. They told auditors.
Oh, they told editors. Yes,
but if you are
I'm saying that look,
throwing
when
audit
audit reports come
Very well.
and say that you are liable, you are surcharged.
Yes.
What do you do if you know that you have, you should not be surcharged? What do you do?
You will say I did it. So she did. Say,
No,
tell them.
you said that you provide evidence that
Okay.
you did not.
Well,
That is
gentlemen,
why
thank you so much.
people like
Thank you.
people.
Thank you.
I can mention a
No,
few.
in the case of Ghana Bodaki,
People audited reports come and they are surcharged for wrongdoing. People bring evidence that they are
we
not
need
in
to-
the
we need to- we need to
Now audit
someday-
report cannot rely on
It's a different charge. Stealing.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. So, Austin Wu
The charges, some
is
of
a
the
media
things-
practitioner, Ibrahim Al-Hassan, the quiet Ibrahim Al-Hassan, head of political desk. Elvis Dako is the Elvis Dako is the managing editor for the News Center, and the managing editor. We're going to do constitutional review. Yes, Awudu Mahama is the next week we need to. Awudu Mahama is also the managing editor for the custodian newspaper. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I promised you it was going to be fire. Indeed, it was been fire. We'll come back shortly after this break and sit with Prophet Emmanuel Ajay, born to prophesy. Say prophesy. We'll be right back.
to the show. I mean, just ended was the breakfast review with Joshua and his guest. It was quite chaotic, but this is another segment of the program. We are going to talk about prophecy and a program coming up, because prophecy remains a powerful but often debated part of Christian ministry. As Born to Prophesy returns this August, I am about to have a conversation with a man of God, Prophet Emmanuel Ejay, about the gathering, the place, the time of the program, as well as some questions about prophecy, and especially when prophecy fails. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's really an honor to have you in the studio this morning.
I'm blessed to be here.
Before I ask you about this program, I've seen that you do midnight session. Yeah. And I'm wondering, does this man sleep? How's your schedule like?
First of all, I want to say thank you so much for having us, and then also your beautiful viewers. Yes, Paul says something. He said his grace is sufficient. When you have a lot of work to be done, God grants you the grace to do it well. I always have these questions coming to me, that how do you manage all these schedules, church, midnight prayers, family, businesses, everything together? The only thing I say is the grace is sufficient.
And you're so consistent.
Very, very consistent and focused.
Okay, let's talk about your program. But just for perspective, I want to find out from you, at what point in your life did you realize you had the call of God on your life?
All right, beautifully. I became born again at the age of 9. By 12 years, I was praying for 4 hours.
4 hours?
4 hours, 12 years, I was doing 4 hours prayers at
That's
Secondary
stamina.
Methodist Park. 4 hours every day consistently.
At 9?
At midnight.
You were 9 years old.
I became born again at 9.
Okay.
And at 12 years, I started praying for 4 hours.
All right.
And I was born into the prophetic ministry. So in our home, everybody is a pastor, and all the women are married to pastors. Strangely,
and it's very interesting. So we have the prophetic ministry, we have the evangelism.
Yes.
Help me understand what the prophetic ministry is about, how different it is from other aspects of the
ministries.
Exactly.
All right, if you read Ephesians chapter 4, verse 9, the Bible said the same person that came down went up, and he gave us a gift, that is God, right, or Jesus. And he said he gave some to be apostles, some to be prophet, some to be evangelists, some to be pastors, some to be teachers, for the perfecting of the saint, for the edifying of the body, and for the work of the ministry. In some. So all this fivefold ministry is for the body of Christ. Now, the best illustration for your viewers to understand, God said to me that this fivefold ministry represents the fingers. And God represents a hand. So this hand gave out these fingers. And then per scripture, the Bible says, first he gave apostles. So the thumb. All right, this thumb is able to bind all these 4 fingers together.
Okay.
So a true apostle is able to operate as a prophet, as an evangelist, as a pastor, and as a teacher. So when somebody says an apostle, he's versatile. The second one says the prophet, per what the Bible says. Now, if you want to give a direction to someone, you don't use your thumb, you use this finger. So basically, you are trying to tell people that my finger, this finger is the extension of what I see. So I see the camera here, I see the guys here, you see me, I see. So I point with this finger. So technically, the prophet is the eye of the church.
Okay.
The prophet is the eye of the church. It gives directions. The prophet is able to see your past, your present, and your future. Now, running through, I know you asked for this question, but let me give you bonus, 3 bonus.
Okay.
So this one is the tallest finger. Everybody is called to evangelize. But when the evangelist goes out, he brings in more souls.
Okay.
Now, this particular finger, you see my wedding band here. Now, you ask a simple question, why is a wedding band here? There is a vein that connects this finger to the heart. So if I put a wedding band here, I'm trying to say I have locked your heart.
Oh, that's what it means.
And this says the pastor. So the pastor is the heart of the church.
Okay.
What a prophet will not understand, what an evangelist will not understand, what a teacher will not understand, the pastor must understand. Because the pastor is the shepherd of the church. And the last finger is this particular finger. Very interesting. You know, today we are in 21st century, but in those days, when something gets into your ears, you use this little finger and then just remove it and then off you go. So the teacher comes in, breaks down the word for you to understand what is really happening in the Bible and in the world. So technically what we are doing now is I'm becoming a teacher.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Now let's delve deeper into the program. I really want to find out what informed. How did you get the name Born to Prophesy? Was it an inspiration? Was it God that told you, okay, pick this particular name, and why that name of the program?
All right. I will answer it from two dimensions. Dimension number one, in the prophetic ministry, is very broad. All right. Not all prophets are the same. Not all prophets are the same. Some receive their prophetic ministry through impartation. Romans 1:11, that I long to see you, that I may impact onto you some spiritual gift, including the prophetic ministry. So you are being impacted to become a prophet. Now, Elisha was not a prophet. He was a businessman. One day, Elijah was passing, and then he saw him, and he removed his cloak, dumped it on his shoulder, and said, follow me. So he made him.
Okay.
So Elijah made Elisha. So they are made prophets.
Right.
There are people who are impacted to become prophets. There are some who you can make them. So I can pick you and make you.
Wow, interesting.
And then the next one is the born prophets. Jeremiah chapter 1. The Bible says, Jeremiah, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I made you a prophet. I ordained you as a prophet. So he did not go to school to be a prophet. He did not wish to be a prophet. He was not made a prophet. He was born a prophet.
Okay.
So we have the born prophets. Now, the second part, the second angle is me. I am versatile. I am good with teaching of the word. I am good with excellence. I believe that God should be served in a special way. I'm good with the pastoral work. I do a lot of things at the same time. But I'm a prophet. I'm a born prophet. So once every year, I become me. I put aside my teaching ministry. I put aside my excellence. I put aside every other thing that I do, and then I go into my element to become that prophet. So that's how we get it. That's how we have this team, Born to Prophesy. So it goes around what God has given to me, the grace God has vested in me.
What's the details of this program? What are we supposed to expect? And I see quite a number of renowned ministers on the show, but tell us, what if I should walk into the premises right now, what should I expect?
Expect 100% prophetic. Expect 100% prophetic, because the theme is Born to Prophesy. So expect 100% prophetic. As I said earlier, I'm putting aside the other aspect of me and then focusing on the prophetic ministry. Number two, you will see these beautiful people online, on the bill, sorry. You have Daughters of Glorious Jesus, you have Ohima Mercy, you have Pastor Joe Beecham, you have MOG, you have Uncle Ato, you have Amy Newman. These are people who have been into ministry for more than 20 years, some 30 years. It tells you about the ancient oil. So the theme is the ancient oil, meaning we are traveling back into the typical prophetic ministry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to travel you back into 400 years. One, expect 100% prophetic. Two, expect I'm going to travel with you to 400 years old and then bring you back into the current states by the grace of God and with all humility. Bible says, I shall visit the iniquities of your fathers up to the 4th generation. So an issue that happened 4 generations back can have effect on you. Most of us are dealing with issues that are not present. They are past. Our fathers have sinned, they are dead and gone, and we are bearing the consequences. So I'm traveling back to identify what went wrong in the past, why these issues happened, and what are the repercussions now. And then I'll give you a solution.
Yeah, I think the latter part about giving the remedy makes it quite convincing, because growing up, we've seen times where prophets give prophecies, but they do not really give us direction as to how to go about it. But I want to find out from you. You have been very precise. I've seen videos of your prophecies, and most of the times they always come to pass. And I want to find out from you, has there been an instance where you've made a prophecy and perhaps it probably delayed?
Some delayed, some did not come to pass.
And how did you feel about that?
Nothing. I'm fallible.
What explains that?
I will. You see, a lot of times we have misconception about the prophets. What are the misconceptions? First misconception, we think the prophet are God. They are not. They are human beings. They are conveyors of a word from a God. For instance, the king, all right, has a linguist, has servants that he sends message to people through them. Now, this is how it happens. God is a king. He wants to speak to his children. He needs somebody to carry the message to them. And one of the medium by which he conveys a message is through a prophet. So I'm just a conveyor of God's message. So I pick the word, I bring it to you. So when I'm done, you must go to God and talk to God. I'm just a messenger. I am not the owner of the message. Okay. I am not the message. Okay. But what happens is that when the message comes, we don't go to the God that brought the message, and we come to the man that gave you the message for him to perform. He's not the performer of the message. He's the conveyor of the message. So what happens is that after I give you that prophetic word, go to God and tell God what is happening. Remember Hezekiah. Hezekiah had a message from a prophet, and the prophet said, you are going to die, prepare your home. Hezekiah understood the power of prophecy. So he did not go to the man. He went to God, turned his eyes to the wall, and said to God, Father, I know that this prophecy is from you. Therefore, I petition you. Remember all the good I have done. And God said, wow. And God changed his mind. So what happened is that if you focus on the man and not the God who gave the word will not come to pass. Number two, if a prophetic word comes and you don't ask for the directions that goes with the prophetic word, it will not come to pass.
Who do you ask? The prophet?
The prophet.
Okay.
Now, in the heat of the moment, he might not give you the condition. Right after the prophecy, go back to him and tell him that, hey, you gave me a prophetic word. What am I supposed to do? He will tell you, do X, Y, Z, and it will come to pass. The third reason why prophecies delay is not because of the prophet. It is not because of the person who received it. It's because of God himself. One day, Jesus is walking with the disciples and goes to a pool. And a guy is there. He has been sick for so many years. And then the disciples ask, who is the cause of this guy's problem? Why is the guy not healed? Did the mother sin? Did the father sin? Did any of the relatives sin? He said, no, none of them, but for the glory of God. So God deliberately kept the guy there for an appointed time to heal him for his glory. So sometimes he speaks, but he's waiting for an appointed time. Until the time comes, it will never manifest.
But isn't that contradictory then? Because if God says, maybe the prophecy was precise. Next 2 weeks, this is what is going to happen in your life, and it does not happen. What does it say about the image of God then? Because it means that he's saying what he's not doing. God
told the people of Israel, you are going to wilderness for 400 years. They came out after 430 years. You see, God is sovereign. We should understand the sovereignty of God. When we say God is sovereign, it means he does what he wants to do. God chooses to say a thing today and chooses to delay it tomorrow. You can't question God.
It's at his discretion.
Yes, you can't question God. He's God all by himself. Now, Christians should grow beyond the level of putting pressure on God. Now, when you put pressure on God, it's called the permissive will of God, not the perfect will of God. We have two wills of God.
Okay.
The perfect will and the permissive will. The people of Israel are calling for a king when God wants to give them judges. They put pressure on God. Give us a king like other nations. And the Bible says, okay, if you want king as other nations, I'll give you Saul. Saul will chastise you. Saul will become your king, but you'll never be happy. After Saul had chastised them, he now comes in and says, I'm now giving you my perfect will. That is David. So we have the perfect will and the permissive will. Don't force God's hand when God is waiting for an appointed time.
Quite enlightened. You gave a prediction.
Okay.
We'll later talk about the venue and the exact time. Okay. But you gave a prediction for the Ghana-Panama game, right?
Yeah.
And then it came to pass. I want to find out from you, how did I feel that moment? And then there's also another conversation about you know, there are doubting Thomases.
Yeah, yeah,
There are people who do not believe in the ministry of prophecy. They assume that most of the times when prophets give this prophecy, it's more like an educational guess or prediction. What would you also say to someone watching you right now who does not even believe in the ministry of prophecy?
Okay, so let me answer the two questions.
Right.
Which one should I answer first? The second one?
The first
let
one.
Let me do the second one.
Okay,
Then
all
I'll do
right,
the first
that's
one.
okay.
All right, what I want you to understand is that prophetic is real.
Yeah, it is.
Bible says, I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever. Jesus is the one we follow. He prophesied. John chapter 1. The Bible says he met John. He prophesied to John, gave him his name, gave his father's name, and gave his future name. He met Nathanael, mentioned Nathanael's name, mentioned Nathanael's village, and mentioned his address. John chapter 1, verse 37. It's there. So prophetic is real. So if you believe in Christ and you don't believe in prophecies, then you're not serving Christ. You're serving a replica of Christ.
Okay.
Because after he said that, he said, greater things you will see than these. So it's real. Now, why is that some don't believe? Not everybody eats acheke. Not everybody eats banku. Not everybody eats snakes. I know you have allergies. You have things you don't like. So there are people, whatever you say to them, however you prophesy to them,
Their mind is made up.
their mind is made. They don't like prophetic. Those people leave them. But if you also believe in the prophetic, you eat the good of the land. Number 2, what's the first question? About the Panama prophecy.
Yes, how it made you feel.
Honestly, if I knew I was going to prophesy about Panama, I wouldn't have prophesied.
Why?
Because I am not good at trending. Ghanaians are very, very passionate about 3 things: religion, politics, and then football. So I don't like going into that dimension. Not because I can't, but I don't like. Now, I was having my midnight prayers, right? And God said to me, Ghana will win by 1. And it's going to be a magical goal. And it's going to be after the 81st minute. So I told them that, guys, don't worry. After 81st minutes, the goal will come. So when it's 81st minute, my guys prompted me and told me, say, Papa, it's 81st minute too. So you realize I said, calm down. I was not speaking to the people. I was speaking to my team who were just putting pressure on me that you just prophesied, though. That thing is not happening. No. So I said to them, calm down. And I said, tell Ghanaians they should calm down. Now, when it's 91st minute, now God spoke to me, the goal is coming.
Okay.
So I announced, get ready. The goal is coming. Under 1 minute, it just hit in.
Okay.
So
Prof.
people started telling me I should give the next prediction. I said, no. No. So I stopped. I didn't do it again.
Okay. Okay, Prof, tell us about the venue, the time, and how long the program is going to last for.
All right. You can't afford to miss BTP. It happens once every year. And good news, it's the homecoming edition, so we're having about 30 countries coming under one roof. And it's going to be a beautiful time. I told you earlier, it's going to be 100% prophetic. God will speak. Listen, I am anointed. It is not pride, but I'm anointed for this one. She's a powerful journalist. She can't take that from her hers. If she's writing a CV, she'll write, I am a journalist. I am writing my CV. I'm anointed. And I can prophesy. And this particular period is 100% prophetic. It's going to be great. I'm inviting you over. He's done it over and over again. I have seen God work in all these 52 countries that I've been. I have seen him work. And I know the blessings of God never ceases. It grows from grace to grace and from glory to glory. Coming this Sunday at exactly 5 p.m. we kickstart. It's going to be powerful. Just come early to have a comfortable place to sit. It will run through up to the 9th of August. And also don't forget, it's happening at the Prayer Palace. Prayer Palace is off the Spinters Road at the Mane Junction. Get to Mane Junction and ask of Spinters Prayer Palace. Everyone will tell you where it is. In case you want any help, you can call these 2 numbers. 0552 522 622. 0552 522 622. or 0271 803,000. Or better still, go on my social media handle, type Prophet Emmanuel J on all platforms, and send us a DM. We'll respond to it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prof, for making time to have a conversation with me. That has been Prophet Emmanuel J, giving us details and insights on prophecy. I think we should all try and be at the program. We'll be back after this break.
Jesus,
Quality healthcare in this country. One of the things that the health minister has consistently maintained is that we should move from sick care, where people get sick before we're taking care of them, to healthcare, which is being able to prevent sicknesses from coming. And one of the key ways we need to do that is to know when challenges are occurring within the body. How do we know? We'll get to learn from my guests who have joined us in studio this morning. And so this morning, I have Nana Abna Jimfoa Abebio. She is the Chief Executive Officer for Elevate Health Watch, and she's here with Dr. Carol Bulelwa Boldani, who is Medical Director, Elevate Health Watch. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to be very biased in this conversation because yesterday we told you Professor Titus Bayo mentioned on the show that he was going to be somewhere. Well, we were with this beautiful, amazing women doing fantastic job when it comes to healthcare delivery. You remember, Nana was here last year. We had a conversation on the show, and you touched on basically what Elevate Health Watch was doing. You've been in the Kwapem South. You've been in the area. Talk to me about the experience there when you went.
Yeah, so Elevate Health Watch is all about empowering better health, and we're very much about the prevention agenda. As you mentioned earlier, early detection saves lives.
Absolutely.
So we established a collaborative partnership with the Kwapem South Ghana Health Service Directorate. What we wanted to do was to expand the offering for free health screening. Within the Kwapem South, they offer free health screening, but the offering is limited to blood glucose and also hemoglobin, which is the anemia screening. So we then asked a few questions about how we could help to support them as an organization to look at how we could expand the offering. And we were told that access to diagnostics is a huge problem. So we then thought, actually, we work with these point of care testing devices that we have here, and they allow you to actually do 6 parameters. So you can do blood glucose, B ketone, total cholesterol, uric acid, and then blood glucose, hematocrit, and hemoglobin, all with one device. So rather than having multiple devices like they currently do in their clinics, we could transition to this. So we tested this as a pilot in Kwapem South for 2 days. We ran the clinics. We screened over 800 people. We found some incidental findings. So previously, they wouldn't have found these patients who had low hemoglobin, but through this device, they were able to find that.
Right.
We also found a few uric acid incidences, but they were able to have the referral on to the appropriate centers to have their treatment.
Quite interesting. And Doc, for you, how much of a game changer is preventative healthcare? Because, like we said, early detection saves lives. And when it comes to 406 that you are also introducing, what really would be the impact you're looking at?
The impact, very good question. The impact, what we aiming to do is to reduce the incidence of strokes. So that's our aim. And with these devices, we are finding the things that cause people to have strokes that, unfortunately, they don't know. So because non-communicable diseases are silent disease, so people often don't know they're at risk of a stroke until the stroke happens. So people who have high cholesterol, for instance, will not know that they have high cholesterol. In fact, there was a study in Ghana called the STEPS 2023, which was commissioned by the WHO and the Ghana Ministry of Health, which found that 90% of people in Ghana don't know their cholesterol level. Wow. With this test, we can tell you on the spot what your cholesterol is and what to do thereafter. We also carry out weight assessments to see people's BMIs. So this is helping also to reduce the stroke rate as well as blood sugars.
Quite interesting. But then talking about people not knowing their numbers, what really is accounting for that? Is it because it's so expensive? Is it difficult? Why do you think people are not getting to know exactly what their numbers are?
Because we don't talk about it much, and that's the problem. We don't talk about health as much as we should do. So I think with the Know Your Numbers campaign, what we wanted to do was to empower people to actually understand what their numbers mean. So if a patient gets the results on the spot, which is what the 406 Connect does, the patient can ask the clinician or the health professional, what does that mean for me? And then through the education, because health education is really important, and that's one of the key things that Elevate Health Watch is trying to bridge, that gap to ensure that everyone who walks into these CHIPS compound are educated about these tests and what they mean. So what is a high cholesterol? What is a low cholesterol? And keep it as basic as that, so people understand the numbers, and then empower them to talk about it openly with their family members as well. So that's where the campaign came. So the I Know Your Numbers campaign is to really get people to talk about that. We did a street interview where we asked people, do you know your mobile number? Oh, they quickly told us. Do you know the cost of an iPhone 17? Yes. Do you know your best football player? Yes. But when you talk about health, do you know when last did you check your blood pressure? When last did you check your cholesterol? Then everyone goes, not sure. So we want to change that, we want to rewrite that story so people are empowered and get excited about talking about it. Because that reactive approach needs to stop, because it blocks the tertiary centres, the hospitals are choked. And these conditions can be managed in primary care. So what we want to do is to ensure that there's care closer to home, the resources are there, the education to the patients are there, and therefore they can access basic care rather than it being critical and then they going into the hospitals where, it's already clogged. So that's what we're trying to do, catch them very early, right in the primary care level.
And that also increases our disease burden if you're unable to catch these things early.
Exactly.
But Doc, how do these things work? Because usually people, from what I'm gathering from you, this is not to basically change anything. It's just to augment the existing structures and make it easier for people. How do they work?
The devices?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So
how easy is it for people to use these?
Yeah, no, it's very simple. Most tests, I think the shortest time it takes for a blood glucose.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds?
Yeah, in 10 seconds you get your results straight away. So it's like a glucometer, but this is more than a glucometer. So it uses blood capillary. So you'd have a small prick on the finger.
Okay.
And then you put your strip in the device and then it measures it. So within 10 seconds, your results pops up. And then there's an app as well, which tells you whether there's a normal range or, you need to seek medical advice. So you know what to do next. So for anyone, what we want to do is, regardless of where you live, your status, access to care should be offered to every single person. It shouldn't be a privilege. So the 4-Hour Care 6 Connect is affordable, and what we're hoping to do is to ensure that every household has it. We want families to talk about these numbers. We want families to discuss it on the table when having a meal. Oh, I checked mine. Even have a challenge. Last week my cholesterol test was that. What was yours last month? And get us going. So when we talk about mobile phones, we talk about health in that same aspect. And that's what we want to encourage. We want to change the status quo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Doc, we're wrapping up the conversation, but what would be your word to people out there when it comes to the work that Elevate Health Watch is doing, especially with the introduction of 406?
Yeah, definitely. Work with knowing your numbers. Start with a healthy diet, as Nana has illustrated. And please engage with knowing your numbers. Check your blood glucose and your cholesterol mainly, and start your treatment.
Yeah. Well, yesterday the health minister launched this, and it's approved by the FDA. All the bodies have given approval for this. The health minister says this is going to be a game changer. He's excited about it as well. But how do people get to get these devices or get connecting with you?
Yeah, so Elevate Health Watch has a retail section, so you can purchase it through us, through our WhatsApp number or phone numbers. We're also working with our pharmacy partners as well, so it can be purchased in the pharmacies, your local pharmacies, as you would do with anything else. Also